What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Phil and Leroy the Judgmental Podcast,
What's up, everybody? This your boy Phil.
and I'm Leroy. So this is our review of the Super Bowl. What was this? Was it 59? I think it was 59. Super Bowl 59 between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll mention some stats on this ass whooping that the Eagles gave the Chiefs. So on the Chiefs side, Patrick Mahomes, 21 for 32, 257 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Rushing, the leading rusher was Patrick Mahomes with 4 carries for 25 yards. Receiving, we have Xavier Worthy, 8 receptions, 157 yards, 2 touchdowns. Travis Kelce, 4 receptions for 39 yards. On the Eagles side, we have Jalen Hurts, 17 for 22, 221 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Rushing, we have Jalen Hurts, 11 carries, 72 yards, 1 touchdown. Saquon Barkley, 25 carries, 57 yards. Receiving, we had Devontae Smith with 4 receptions, 69 yards, 1 touchdown. A.J. Brown, 3 receptions, 43 yards, 1 touchdown. Jahan Dotson, 2 receptions, 42 yards. The score was 40-22, but that really wasn't the real score. The Eagles put a whooping on these Chiefs, and it shocked me. Well, I knew they was going to win. I had a feeling they was going to win, but because the Eagles played good. I was telling people at work, the Eagles played good defense, and we talked about this before last week that the Chiefs has really been struggling offensively, but the defense been bailing them out. Their games was like always close, like a field goal in the fourth quarter and all that stuff. So their games was really close, and the defense has been bailing them out. This wasn't going to work. This game, none of that was going to work, and it proved it in the first quarter because Patrick Mahomes had this look on his face like it wasn't nothing he can do, and that was early in the game. So yeah, props to the Eagles on the ass whooping that they gave them. What was your thoughts?
Yeah, just like you said, I had a feeling that we was going to win the game, so I thought it would have been closer.
Yes.
And the final score really is like 40-6. They
Mm-hmm.
got garbage touchdowns when it didn't matter. Shit, we was up 34-0. You know what I mean?
Right.
Uh, Once you frustrate a quarterback enough and you get him on his ass enough, and he know he can't do shit, he can't do shit, and he has that look. It's the same thing that happened with Cam Newton when he went to the Super Bowl. They was on his ass every play. He couldn't do shit. When a quarterback can't do nothing, I don't care how great he is. If he don't get that protection, he can't show his greatness, and he gonna get his ass kicked.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much what happened.
Right. And for a team who didn't blitz the quarterback, still got 6 sacks out of the deal, that tells you about the Eagles' defensive line.
Right, and their offensive line was banged up too. I think they was missing 2 starters, so they moved like one of their guards to a tackle position. So that's kind of fucked up because now he's playing out of position, and then you putting in the backup to play his position at guard. So they was in trouble anyway with that going on.
Right.
You can't do that in the Super Bowl and be having banged up offensive linemen.
Right. Right. So now let's talk about Jalen Hurts. Now, real quick, I'm gonna play you this video of Gilly the Kid. Gilly the Kid. I'm assuming this was like a Barstool's TV show. I don't know, but
Mhm.
he's talking. He's a judgmental fan because he said the same thing that we said about Jalen Hurts. Now, listen to this video. This is before the Super Bowl, by the way. Here we go.
Can you guys explain this to me then? Why does Jalen Hurts get so much scrutiny when Jalen Hurts been a 4-year starter? He's won more games than Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and he's been to 2 Super Bowls.
Very simple. Because we judge quarterbacks on gross statistics.
Oh, y'all don't judge quarterbacks on winning.
I'm not saying we. I'm saying the world.
He said we, and then he
This
said,
is
"I'm not
fantasy
saying we."
football.
That's Greg Olson,
The tight end.
tight
Yeah,
end.
he's
No,
an
I
idiot.
want I want to talk to you.
I thought he
wasn't
was
talking
smart.
to you. Go
Oh,
ahead.
okay.
Sorry. I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to people out there that here.
Okay.
Go ahead and finish what you gonna say.
No, I'm saying he says we, and then he said, "I'm not talking about we." After you just said we, and then I just thought he was smarter than that to be talking this dumb shit about fantasy football.
What did he say about fantasy football?
Oh, he didn't get to it yet.
Oh, the first thing when I always see him, I always think about that rap video that it was a rap song that the Miami Hurricanes did. He was
Mhm.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they talked about it. It's a 30 for 30 documentary on the U, and they talked about this rap. It's the rap song is on YouTube, and they mentioned he was in the rap song rapping. Then he tried to like downplay it, like, oh no, because they were talking about women and all that stuff.
Mhm.
If you can tell by the rap video that everybody was joking around, but I guess since everybody's so sensitive now, he tried to like downplay it and all
Trying
that
to
stuff.
clean his image up. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So here we go.
Wait,
Pinnacle of fantasy football.
Wait.
We judge guys by throwing for 5,000, 4,000. He's not a high volume passer.
but wait, he has
He means what he's saying, but he means what the things he was talking about, but he don't want to look bad in front of
Yeah, he's talking about fantasy football stats. That shit don't matter.
more regular season wins, more playoff wins.
I just told you the
and he's
answer.
been to 2 Super Bowls. These guys can't even make it to the conference championship. What are we talking? Oh, he looks pretty. Oh, he looks pretty. Look how he throws the ball. It goes 70 yards in the air. Playoff time.
So I got a question.
Well, your own team wanted him benched, Gilly. Halfway through the season, your lead wide receiver was sulking.
That's a lie. We never wanted Jalen Hurts bench none this year.
No.
And he can't.
Who said that Jalen Hurts bench for who? Pickett?
Yeah, he's talking shit.
Well,
That was never a topic that he would be bench halfway through the year. When we won like damn near 16 of the last 16 games or some shit like that. So when are we talking about we should have got benched?
Dave's an asshole anyway, so
he making up shit.
Right.
Throw a pass.
Wait,
so maybe
my question. Can I ask you a question?
And one other thing. He said your own receiver threw him under the bus. Really, the receiver was saying, because the receiver want more catches. Let's just get it out there. He's a receiver. He's a diva. He want more catches. But that was more on the offensive coordinator that's calling all the run plays and not enough pass plays.
Right.
Him and Jalen Hurts been best friends before they even teamed up, and they still tight. It's the media that's trying to throw a wedge between them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you rolling, okay, I could see if they was focused on running the football and Saquon wasn't good and they weren't winning.
Right.
Now I can see you complaining about that. But if you rolling, can you really have anything bad to say?
No.
False is when Saquon didn't play, when Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown didn't play.
He's saying all the same shit that I said on the podcast.
Right.
Brown.
You just made an argument for why he comes under fire.
So where do you
What's that? What, his best players was out? Are you an idiot? His best players was out and they didn't win. If you take away the best players on the people who he think that's good, the quarterbacks he think that's good, do you think they would throw as much?
Exactly.
see him?
So that's the reason why you talk bad about Jalen Hurts, because when his two best wide receivers, Devontae Smith is awesome. See, he don't get props in the league because he don't really put up big stacks, because he's like the second and he have a good running back. So his yards and all that stuff.
Everybody know that Devontae ain't no joke though.
Right.
He don't even bitch and complain about less targets.
Right. So you take them out of the game and Jalen Hurts lose. So that looks bad on Jalen Hurts because I guess he didn't put up big enough stats and he lost the game. Make sense to me. See, that's why I tell you about these people.
The bottom line is all these people that was talking shit about Jalen Hurts, they had to eat crow, and now they're trying to defend their argument. They can't.
Right. See how I always say that these people aren't you would think they would know so much and knowledgeable that stuff is on TV. I can be on TV and do a way better job, and I don't need stats. I can just look and tell. The guy Jalen Hurts wins, and those other guys don't, and they always get all these props. I'm confused.
I said the same thing. I've been defending Jalen Hurts all year to people at my job, to my father-in-law, to my cousin. Like you saw the way they've been talking shit, and I'm like, we still winning. What are you talking about? Oh, you can't win the championship running with a running quarterback that don't throw the ball. Oh, really?
Right. Well, he threw the ball and he ran. So
Right.
If you took every head coach and GM and said, pick your top 7, where do you see Hurts?
1,
Second.
2, right? Exactly.
He only lost, one player that won more
Listen,
games.
I like Jay.
I give Pat Mahomes a pass. Pat Mahomes got 3 rings. He's number 1. Number 2 is Jalen Hurts. And I would say number 3 is Joe Burrow because Joe Burrow did take his team to the championship.
I would say Pat Mahomes because he got the 3 rings and he's the truth. I would say Lamar, and then I would say Jalen.
You still think at that stats that I showed you, the Jason Whitlock stats, you still think Lamar is better than Jalen Hurts? And he threw like way too many interceptions in the postseason.
I said we're only going by 5 years, not that overall picture, because Jalen only played 5 years. Lamar got 2 more years on him.
Yeah, that was the 5 years. The stats was 5 years.
Right. So 5 years, their stats was real close, but Jalen was right there, probably better than him a little bit. You know what I mean?
No, it wasn't close at all. Did you see the stats?
It was close. Jalen was better, but they was close. Yes, they was. Look at them.
Lamar threw too many interceptions. Jalen Hurts had a better quarterback rating, and of course he has a better winning record. So he's better in the playoffs than Lamar.
You talking about playoffs? I'm talking about overall playoffs.
No, I'm talking about. I don't care. I'm with Gilly Kid. I only concern myself with playoffs. Or what are you doing in the playoffs?
Right. So
these guys get 5,000 yards and they lose.
Right.
That's
so
that's his point.
So Lamar has 2 MVPs, and that's the only reason why I would give him. And he's still pretty much in his prime, so that's why I would give him number 2. But it's not like a 1, 2, and 3. It would be more like a 2A and a 2B. You know what I mean? Because I would say they're real close, but Lamar got those MVPs. Well, shit, Jalen got championships now, so shit.
Exactly.
Flip it over. I would go with number 2.
That's right.
Because we were talking before the championship.
Right.
Jalen Hurts. Hold on. I like Hurts. I've always been a defender of his on our broadcast and whatnot. You're on drugs if you think he's the second best.
Well, he's definitely on drugs.
Let me say this.
Dave made a little
He looked like he the one just did in line or something.
Oh yeah, he get down. He got that look about him in his face. Yeah, he is on drugs. You want to try to make it look.
They're both white boys. His face is red. His nose is red. The other boy is just a regular white boy. So that tell you he probably been sniffing a little candy up the nose.
Yes, I mean, like who else? I'm confused. Maybe I'm the one with the problem. Maybe me, you, and Gilly is the one with the problem. Maybe they better than I am. I don't know. Maybe, well, Greg, he know all the X and O's and all that stuff. Maybe, he knows more football than we do. But what I see is the guy wins in the playoffs, and these guys that y'all put on the pedestal don't do shit as of yet. Well, like I say, I'll give Joe Burrow a little props. He did take his team to the Super Bowl. Now, I would give him props. But other than that, what did they do? What did Lamar do? Lamar throw a lot of damn interceptions in the postseason. And don't give me that well, Jalen Hurts got a good defense. Oh man, that offensive line, man. Of course he can do everything with that offensive line. These guys have good teams too.
Yeah, exactly. I'm tired of the bullshit. Lose. They keep making excuses for Jalen Hurts. And then like my father-in-law and some of these sports guys were saying, if it wasn't for Saquon Barkley, we wouldn't have been in the championship. Well, we didn't have Saquon Barkley 2 years ago and made the championship. So now what?
Right. Well,
not saying Saquon Barkley ain't a beast in the truth, but our line has always been one of the best run blocking lines. So that just highlighted Saquon Barkley's ability to be one of the best. But if he wasn't here and we had a solid regular running back like we had the last couple of years, we still would have made the playoffs and possibly the championship.
Okay, so Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, the Chiefs played 7-man fronts, so he couldn't really do shit on the run. Okay, he had 25 carries, so they kept stuffing him. Now, they took away the what everybody say. If it wasn't for Saquon, the team wouldn't be there. Right. So, and Jalen Hurts still beat him with his arm, and he still beat him on a run. So, what did he have to say about that one?
And see, I don't know why they like to throw that out there when we saw Jalen Hurts in the championship without Saquon. We saw him in the championship without a run game, and he threw for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Right. So why would you say he can't throw when you seen him throw when he had to and was accurate with it?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a hate. That's all it is. They don't like Philly, and they don't like the Jalen Hurts.
I think he's a good player. Don't get me wrong.
but
I
we
like
need-
him, but let's
you
not.
need-
Definitely on the little marijuana.
They should have brought
So
all
he-
them back to the table right there.
So he said, talk about the marijuana. Is that wrong what Gilly said? It's the same thing that we said. Props to him. He said this almost the same exact words as we said. So he might be a judgmental fan on the low. You just never know. So yeah, Jalen Hurts was the MVP of the game. Wasn't really nobody else to give it to.
And then
Josh,
I hate that they're trying to make this big argument that somebody on the defensive side of the ball should have won MVP. The whole defense as a whole played good, but nobody stood out to the point where you can say, "Damn, he made the difference. He is the MVP." Because even what's his name? Cooper DeJean. A couple people say he should have won MVP. Well, he only had really that one big play.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then you say, well, Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat had 2.5 sacks. That was great. But let's not forget Jalen Carter was getting double teamed to allow him to do that.
Well, Josh Sweat said that he think that he should have been MVP, but that wasn't the only way you would give a defensive person MVP if they broke a record, a Super Bowl record, 2.5 sacks. I think he was tied, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was tied for fifth. And the number one person maybe had 3 or 3.5. I don't know who the number one sack person in the Super Bowl is, but I think it was either 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had 3 sacks or 3.5 sacks. So he was tied for fifth. So you didn't break any records. So why would you think that you would be a MVP? They always going to look at
the contract year. And he want to make sure you know what he did in the Super Bowl, so you can get that fat contract.
Right. Yeah, he made a he was on the report, one of these news reports, and said that he think that he should have got MVP.
Well, he got baited into saying that too because the reporter asked him that. It's not like he just came out and said it. That's what they do in the media. They try to stir contra on a sneak tip.
Okay. So before the Super Bowl, the Saturday, Josh Allen, MVP of the league, and Saquon Barkley, offensive person of the league, which is a shitty thing. So the MVP always go to a quarterback. So they said, well, hey, look, we got to give an offensive person an award. Let's give them the offensive, but let's make offensive player of the year. Well, it makes no sense to me. Either you're one or you're other. But I think that Saquon Barkley should have been MVP. 9 running backs. He's one of 9 running backs that ran for 2,000 yards in the season. Going back, I think that they should allow him to break the record.
That was the Eagles' fault. Because if he'd have had that record, he probably would have won MVP.
Exactly. So no, I don't think Josh Allen should have been the MVP. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it should have been between Saquon and Allen. Well, not Allen. I'm sorry, Lamar. What Lamar did this year was like ridiculous, and for them to just give it to Josh Allen, that's some old favoritism award because he fell out of the top 10 in passing yards and passing touchdowns. I think he only had 25 passing touchdowns, and I think he had 36 or 3,800 yards passing, something like that. So he wasn't even one of the top passers. His completion percentage was low. Like, come on now, y'all just giving him a award because y'all like him. You know what I mean? They say he's one of the only 3 players that ever win the MVP but not make the All-Pro team, first team. That should tell you something right there. If you ain't on an All-Pro first team, whoever that quarterback is on an All-Pro first team, that's the best quarterback of the year.
So before I get into parade talk, there's reports that the Eagles are they going to build a new stadium or are they going to build on the existing stadium? Have you heard that? All right, here's Crossing Board. It's a website about Eagles football. There's a rumor going around that the Eagles want to build a new stadium with a retractable roof. If you sell 8% of a team valued at more than $8 billion, there's a large chunk of your stadium money right there. Just a rumor, though. We will effort more information. And now the person is explaining, this is not my report. It's a rumor. I heard, and I know a few other Philly sports scribes have heard it as well. Basically, there's been some Eagle buzz stemming, I believe, from City Hall, based on what I describe as feelers that the organization is putting out. After basic investigation, I think the genesis of the rumor is super preliminary discussion with the city that has been somewhat forced due to current Comcast versus Sixers beef. So I guess they would stem from all this information. I've never seen a mayor on a parade. on a parade, giving the speech for the parade. So maybe that's why they all into each other. So they trying to get that
Yeah.
money so they can
Well,
get a
that's what
stadium.
happens. That's what happens when a football team gets real big and they start winning championships and all that shit. Then the city try to figure out ways to make more money. So, well, let's bigger stadium so we get more money. That type shit. Kind of like how Dallas did when they was winning all them championships and getting all that bread.
Right.
Let's build a bigger stadium. I'm with it.
I remember when the Temple was winning and Temple football was winning, and they wanted to build make a new stadium.
Yeah, this is part for the part. That's how they do things.
Someone asked Jeffrey Lurie, and it says, "Any plans to join a development project at the sports complex?" Oh, by the way, since I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to the people out there. Since the Sixers is not getting a stadium downtown, they got this thing where they're going to have some type of project at the sports complex where they're going to have stadiums and probably apartment complexes and all that stuff there. So it's a big open space. So I guess that's what they're going to plan to do. So the reporter asked Jeffrey Lurie, is he going to be a part of the project? Jeffrey Lurie says, you know what? We've talked closely all the time with Comcast and with the Phillies, and that's something we monitor. At this point, we're not part of that, but it's something we monitor closely, and we're not part of the sports complex, and we have, and that is 8 or 9 more years on our lease. We'll just keep monitoring it and try to figure out what's best for the Eagles. So what he's saying is they probably would just build on top. There won't be a new stadium. They'll probably just build on top of the Lincoln Financial, and they'll probably make it a retractable roof, which they should have did from the jump anyway. But that's a story of another day. With real grass, not the fake grass.
Well,
Go ahead.
wasn't Veteran Stadium real grass? But they said that shit was like playing on concrete.
No, that was like old school fake grass that they make good fake grass
Asbestos
now.
shit.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Now going to the parade, I want to give props to Scepter because Scepter really did a real good job shipping people in and out. I got on the trolley. The trolley was going to 30th Street. And then you had to take the L to they changing the name to they changing the name to all the routes and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And Market Frankfurt is going to be the L. so so I took the L only stopped at 11th Street. So I had went to 11th Street and okay, I was walking on Chestnut Street. I cut Chestnut Street in the alleyway to go to Walnut Street, right? And it was okay, all the parking lots there, they didn't the parking decks, I should say, to people out there, they weren't allowing people to park there or go in there. And it was like a guard standing like, yo, you can't, walk through here or whatever. So I was walking in the alleyway and the door was open and a guy had came out and said, hey, yo, if you go to this way, okay, it was two people in front of me. And he was like, hey, yo, if you go in there, you can be on that parking lot. And the two guys went in there, and now I was about to say, yo, hold that door. And I took a step and I said, no. I said, I'll get in that room and somebody might try to rob me or something. So I said, no. So I kept walking, right? Made it to Walnut Street, and I looked up and it was people in the damn parking lot. And then I turned around and I turned back around real quick to try to go back in the door. The door was shut. It was one of those doors where, you can open it from the outside. Yeah, you can't open it from the, yeah. So it was, I said, shit, I could have been sitting right on that deck right there and seen everything. This is one thing I know that people get on my fucking nerves. Philip, they did the same thing this year. Why the fuck do people think that they can block the corner? They'll get in there and they'll sit there and block the corner and won't let you walk by.
Yeah, I don't know.
So my thing I was going to do is I was like, all right, I got there. It was like may have been about like 10:30, and the parade started at 11 o'clock. And so I was going to do is I was going to walk to South Philly, right? And and when the parade goes by, I can like walk back and kind of like follow them until I get to till they pass me, and then I can leave or whatever. So my plan was foiled because one of those streets in South Philly they was doing construction work, so it was blocked off. So I walked all the way down, and I was like, "Shit!" I was on the same side that we were on last time,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Shit!" So I walked back, and that's when I got into the corner lady. The lady, and I was like, "Excuse me, excuse me." She just like standing there and wouldn't move.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "No, it's just way too. No, it's too blocked off." I said, "No, I'm not standing here. I'm trying to get to the other side of the street." And so it was people behind me, and they getting on me because I wouldn't move. So I'm like, "No, it ain't me. I'm trying to do the same thing you doing." So
Mm-hmm.
now they get in an argument about blocking the fucking corner, and then they finally let us pass the corner, and of course it was plenty room to get by. So I was like talking to him. I was talking to the guy. I was like, "Well, damn, it's plenty of room. Why would she think that she can just block the corner like that?"
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, it ain't no room.
That's how they do.
But other than that,
Speaking of the scepter, online everybody was thinking Kevin Hart. Did he have something to do with that? Because I don't understand that. Because most of the time when your team is winning like that and going somewhere, they're because Scepter gonna be so crazy, they'll open it up for free anyway.
right.
So did he pay or did he say something to allow it to happen this year?
The only thing I heard, they said it was like sponsors. Oh, that's another thing. Philip just mentioned. Everything was free. The trolley ride, the L ride, it was free. I think the reason why it was free because it'd have been way too much hassle with trying to make people pay their fare and all that
Right,
stuff.
well, that's what
Blocking
I was
people.
saying. But they
Yeah.
made it seem like Kevin Hart had something to do with it. And yeah, everybody was thinking Kevin Hart.
No, see, yeah, all I heard was sponsors. Yeah, it was a free ride on SEPTA. It was free for us. I think if you caught the regional line, I think you had to
Use your key
had
card.
that or have that 10-day that day pass thing they
Yeah.
have. But
But you had to get the day pass before the actual day. If you ain't get it on it before that day, you wouldn't get one.
yeah, because they not gonna be checking for tickets and all that stuff. It's way too many people. You be there
Right.
all day long trying to do stuff like that. So I walked up to Walnut. I walked back up to Walnut Street. Wasn't nowhere no close view. I couldn't get no close view
Couldn't set
because
up shop there.
no. I set up shop on Walnut Street, but it was like all the way in the back.
Mm.
Behind the trash truck. No, was I behind the trash truck?
Because
No, I
we was
was
pretty
next to the
cool
trash truck.
last time. We seen like everything.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, it was way too many people once I got back there, and because I was trying to go back to the parking lot and see if that door was going to open up. So I went back there. The door was shut, and they were still on the parking lot. I said, "Damn, that would have been the best spot. That would have been the best spot on that parking lot." It was. I would have been on the top deck because it was people like on the bottom deck and all that stuff
Mm-hmm.
looking. I don't want walked up to the top deck and looked at it. That would have been the best spot to look at that thing. I was like, "Damn, I should have just went in that room."
Yeah, we'd have been on it if I was with you.
So yeah, they passed by. I had to zoom in when they passed by. I don't know who was what in that video. I had to
Mm-hmm.
zoom in with my had my hand in the air and zoom in on it. I don't know who was passing by or whatever. So after that, I just went to Brandon Terminal Market. After they passed, I went to Brandon Terminal
Mm-hmm.
Market and went home. Yeah, I got on the train. I
That's
didn't had to wait a long time or anything like that. So props to Scepter for that. Oh, and props to the city too because they had a lot of porta potties around. I wouldn't use the porta potties because I'm thinking that them guys would be shitting all over the
well. That's
toilet
how
seat, shit
the
floor.
two people got shot because of the porta potties.
What happened? They was
They
arguing
didn't,
over
they
it.
didn't make the news. Yeah, they cut the line. They said it was a long line at the porta potty. I was listening to the radio and I was listening to TV and I was watching it. Whatever channel I was watching, they had an Asian reporter. She ain't know
Hmm.
none of the players. Everybody walking up, and you can tell she didn't know who it was. So she was asking somebody else, and she said, "Hey, I got such and such," like all late with it. So I was like, you
Hmm.
know what? Like somebody big walked right past it because I think it was Lane Johnson or somebody. She didn't even know who it was. I was like, no, I can't watch this lady. So I turned to another station. And then that's when they knew. Like Gilly was driving his little Gilly mobile right slow in front of her. She didn't even make mention of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can hear somebody on the sideline say that was Gilly the Kid right there. And she's like, "Oh, we say Gilly the Kid's down here," but she never even put the camera on him or nothing. So I was like,
Hmm.
"She corny. Let me turn to another station." But they said two people tried to cut the line. It was a long line to the Porta John. Two people cut the line. It started into a fight, and then the shots.
Can you imagine getting in a shootout over a damn porta potty?
Why do some people think they just bigger and bad and they can just cut lines like that?
Oh,
Who the
they
fuck you
good.
think you is when we sit here waiting to get our turn? The guy on the radio, he was like, "I got a pee so bad, but there's no way I'm gonna be able to make that line and wait." He like, somebody give me a Gatorade bottle.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I would just piss. I would just find somewhere to piss. I wouldn't use that porta potty. But the porta potties in the South Philly area, the South Philly downtown area, they didn't have any lines. You could just like walk right in. And I said, oh, that's decent that they have all these porta potties out here like that. I wouldn't use them, but it's great that they're there. I can imagine open that door, it'd be shit on the floor, shit on the toilet seat.
Why gotta be shit everywhere like that?
You trust them people, Philip? They've been drinking and smoking weed all damn day. Do you trust them?
It's probably piss on the floor. There's nobody shitting on the floor.
Oh, I don't believe that. No, sir.
Now, you coming from a guy that's been in the military for 20 years that used porta potties every time I went on a military base. Now, I done seen some fucked up porta potties where there's a fucking ant high pile of shit in the joint. Like, you got to bring a stick in there before you go in the bathroom. Knock the fucking mountain down before you can go. But I've seen like dudes pissing on the floor and that type of shit. You know what I mean? But I ain't never seen no shit on the floor and all that. Worst case scenario, you might go in there and have to shit and ain't no toilet paper or some shit like that.
Okay, so you think these people has been drinking and drugging all day long? Do you think if they got a shit real bad, do you think they're going to just aim for the
yes, they're going to. They're not like everybody else. Like. There's a certain group of people that are bird nested and do all this shit and hover over it and all that, and then other people just sit their ass on it. They just sit their ass on the type of people.
Another thing I can't stand that people do. Okay, now you know it's very crowded down there, right? So and you know that when you're walking, it's always somebody behind you going the same way you going. Okay, so the person in front of you, they know that other people's behind you, right? They'll be walking, they'll stop and have a full-blown conversation with somebody when they know that somebody's behind them. Why would people do shit like that? And I said, oh shit, these people get on my fucking nerves. So okay, they passed. I went and ran Terminal Market. I went to Terminal Market to use the bathroom, right? I walked in and ran Terminal Market. And I'm like, damn, it was no. And I went to get a vegetarian cheesesteak. So I had went and ran Terminal Market and used the bathroom. And I'm like, damn, it ain't nobody in here. So I made my order, used the bathroom, came out to pick up the order. Man, it was chest to chest in there. I said, damn.
Came in the right time.
They pulled the same shit in there. They know it's like chest to chest in there, Phil. It's more busier than it is on a regular weekday. And I don't even like going in there during lunch hours because it's like chest to chest in there. But it was like way busy. They'll be walking, knowing people behind them. They'll stop in the middle of the walkway and have a full-blown conversation with somebody, knowing that people behind them. So now you're like, oh, excuse me. And now the people on your back, they pushing you, and you pushing the people in front of you to get by the other people. I'm like, damn, these people get on my damn nerves. But that was the only negative I could say about the going to the parade was them damn people doing that shit. And I got right on the trial. Well, I got on the L. Oh, it was somebody like plastered on the L too, like rocking back and forth and spitting and all that stuff. I'm like, damn, let me get away from this dude. He wasn't homeless because he had on his Eagle gear, but that dude was like on another planet. And I was like, man, I ain't getting in on his car. I'm gonna I made sure what car he got in that I didn't get in that car. So I got to 30th Street and got on the 11 and got home. So I ain't have no problems on SEPTA. So props to them for working that out. Anything else you want to add on the Eagles? Oh shit! Before you do that, the prop bets. Now let's go and review the prop bets that you made. The first prop bet was heads or tails. It was tails. Philip said tails, and it was the second bet was the Chiefs or the Eagles will win the bet. The Chiefs won the bet. Philip said the Eagles won the bet. I didn't put a vote on that one. Second was both teams combined over and under 5.5 touchdowns. Philip and Leroy had it under 5.5. It was actual 7 touchdowns. The Chiefs had 3 and the Eagles had 4. Again, both teams combined over and under 1.5 interceptions. Me and Philip had it under. It was over. Mahomes had 2 interceptions and Jalen Hurts had 1. Both teams combined over and under 4.5 sacks. That's the defense sacking the quarterback. Okay. Phil said that it was over 4.5. I didn't do a pick, He actually was right because it was the Chiefs was sacked 6 times and the Eagles was sacked 2 times. Both teams combined over and under 715.5 total yards. Phil and Leroy said under, and we were absolutely right. It was 620 yards. I felt that 715.5 was way too high. Way too high.
Yeah.
For teams who play defense like that, way
Mm-hmm.
too high for that. First touchdown first, Chiefs of the Eagles. Philip said the Eagles. I didn't vote. Philip was right. The Eagles had the first touchdown. Sack first, Chiefs of the Eagles. This is the defense sacking the quarterback. Philip and Leroy said it was Kansas City. We both was wrong because Josh Sweat had the first sack in the second quarter. This was the same drive where Cooper DeJean had the interception touchdown because they it was back-to-back sacks, and I think he threw a
Mm-hmm.
touchdown at third down. First play from scrimmage is a run, yes or no. Philip said no. Leroy said yes. The first play was actually a run. It was the Eagles' run with Saquon Barkley running 4 yards. Touchdown in the first 7 minutes, yes or no? Phil and Leroy said yes. The answer is a no because the Eagles scored at 6 minutes and 37 seconds in the first quarter. So that's 8 minutes and change they scored. So we barely missed it by a minute and some change. That was the Hurts had the tush push for the
Mm-hmm.
1 yard touchdown. Missed field goal, yes or no? Phil and Leroy said yes. We were wrong. It was no missed field goals, which shocked me. Especially he had 4 of them too, and didn't miss. Eagles lead at halftime, yes or no? Phil and Leroy said yes, and obviously the answer was yes because the Eagles was winning 24-0 in halftime. Lead change in the fourth quarter, yes or no? Phil and Leroy said no, and the answer was right. It was a no. Mahomes throws over 300 yards, yes or no? Phil and Leroy said no. We were right. Mahomes only threw 257 yards. Darius Slay interception, yes or no? Phil and Leroy said no. The answer was right, no. MVP is a quarterback, yes or no? Philip said no, but then he said he wanted wanted Jalen Hurts to win MVP, but he thought it would be Saquon to be the MVP. So he was doing a half in and half out type of thing. I said yes, and Jalen Hurts was the MVP. I don't know to give Philip half a props or like a half a sack. So you got 0.5 on that because you said you think that Saquon was going to be MVP, but you want Jalen Hurts to be the MVP. And the last one was a Gatorade color, green, yellow. Philip hit the nail on the head. It was green and yellow. I said it was red. You know, you would have won probably if you would have put $100 down. You probably would have won about 200 or 300 just for that green and yellow
Mm-hmm.
color. Prop bets is like during prop bets. That's a big thing. It sounds stupid, but that's a big thing. What the color is that the coach would be dumped with. So yeah, anything else you want to add on these Eagles championship?
Uh, Not
Oh,
really.
pause too. I like to say that people. We also have to mention that our offensive coordinator Kellen Moore has gone to the. He stayed in New Orleans because he signed with the New Orleans Saints to be the next head coach. What are your thoughts on that?
Hey, it is what it is. You get a pay raise, so why not?
Okay, now you think the offense is going to be hurt?
No, I think because Jalen is kind of smart and he's been dealing with this shit damn near all his career. A new offensive coordinator every year. He just got to learn a new offensive playbook, I guess. You know what I mean? Hopefully, whoever's the offensive coordinator comes in is a veteran and won't steer too clear from what works best with Jalen Hurts. And he'll have his plays that he loves because this is what they do. But still, go with what you know works that got us the Super Bowl. Don't throw those away just because those aren't your play.
Mhm. Well, I don't think nothing's going to change because as we said that it's the coach offensive system. Now he may not be calling the plays, but it's his system because it's the same offense from last year. So I don't think that that's going to really hurt us or anything like that. But okay, now that being said, now we have to have a sit down conversation, man to man conversation of your boy Nick Sirianni. So he's also been 4 years with 2 Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's the dude from Fox, the one with the black wife? What is his name? Is it Nick? Uh, The guy with the big nose. Oh, you know, Nick Wright. Nick Wright.
Right,
Nick
yeah.
Wright.
You mean Nick
He
Wrong?
he called Nick Sirianni an idiot. He said, "No, I just think he's an idiot." Now, what are your thoughts, or what is your honest conversation thoughts? So, oh, and I hate people say that. Yeah, y'all want to get rid of him, and just because they did something bad, they did something bad earlier and they won. That doesn't take away about the shit they did that was
Right.
wrong.
So that's what I was defending. I was talking to somebody online about this because he was saying the same thing. All y'all Philly fans wanted him fired. You damn right. And I was one of the ones that wanted him fired because we lost what 6 of our last games last year, and then the way
Yes.
we started this year, real shitty. And it's obvious any football fan that saw the play calling and saw what we were doing, going forward on 4th down when we in field goal range, and there's no need. Like it was shitty. So if you keep losing, you deserve to get fired. But the same token, if you turn it around and you keep winning, you're gonna get praised.
Right. Right. So, what's your thoughts on Nick Sirianni as a
I
whole?
I think because he's a young head coach, it's not like he was a head coach ever in his career anywhere else. So he's learning. He's taking the ups and the downs. He changed his shit. Hopefully he don't go back to that. I don't care about aggressive. You can be aggressive, but you can't be stupid when it comes to aggression. And he was stupid aggressive. You don't want that. If
Hmm.
it's the first quarter, why are you going for it on 4th down when you're in field goal rounds? Take the 3. Close game, I can understand. Early in the game, don't force yourself like that. Take those points if it's there. So he's kind of learned along the way from fucking up last year and then fucking up early this year and then changing it around. So hopefully that sticks with him and moving forward. I'm riding with Nick.
Okay. So, yeah, I agree everything you said. If it ain't Nick, who else? And you can't yeah, and like as Philip said, that man was on the hot seat this year. If they didn't if they even lost in the first round of the playoffs, I think his coaching job would have been questioned. And I'm pretty sure he knew it because they got rid of all the coaching last season, and he's the only one there. If he had a messed up season, then you next. It's obvious.
Right. As like when Chip Kelly took over, everybody media wise in Philadelphia media, they wanted Howie Roseman fired. There's no way you keep this guy in the house. It's controversial. He need to go. You know what I mean? All this and that. Well, if we would have got rid of Howie, we wouldn't have won 2 Super Bowls.
Right.
We wouldn't have the players we got, and we wouldn't have won 2 Super Bowls. So sometimes you got to stick with your gut feeling. If you like the guy, you keep him around.
Hmm. Right. So, thanks Philadelphia Eagles for a great season, great Super Bowl parade. Anything else you want to add?
Nah, I didn't like how. There's 2 things about the parade I didn't like. I didn't like how they were throwing beers in the at the buses for the players, and then the GM get bust upside the head.
Yeah.
So now anybody start talking about the Eagles fans, they're going to bring up where they threw a beer can at their own owner, taking it out of context how it really went. You know what I mean? It
Right.
ain't their fault he can't catch because they threw one to AJ. He caught it with one hand like it wasn't shit.
Hmm.
And I saw the bus and I saw the players and people on the bus telling the crowd like to throw it. So if they
Yeah.
telling them to throw it and you don't catch it in the bus in your head, that's on you. And then
They go ahead.
another thing I didn't like how Saquon was drinking from everybody's bottles. But that's on him if you want to get germs and sick. But he was walking down in the parade and everybody had their bottles out. He would take it out the hand and just start drinking from it. I'm like, oh, that's disgusting. This time of age when everybody running around with flu and cold and sick and COVID, and you want to just be drinking off of some random drunk dudes. You know these dudes is pissing and ain't washing their hands and all. It's just disgusting out there.
See, that's what I said about the porta potty.
Yeah, I'm right. The porta potties could be disgusting, but I don't think the shit on the floor.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they were doing that on Walnut Street with the bears. And the people on the bus was telling them, like, yeah, throw it up. And they was
Yep.
trying to catch it, and sometimes they'll fly by them and all that stuff. Yeah, they were doing that. So, like you said, it ain't on the fans. It wasn't like the fans just stopped and like just threw bear up in there. And they talked about that before the game, before the
Yep.
parade anyway. They was like, yeah, throw some bears up. We'll take them.
Oh,
So,
I saw this other guy. They said he played one game in the regular season. He had his shirt off, walking down, and everybody high-fiving everybody, eating pizza. I'm like, who is this guy? Now, you know me, I follow like the team, and I know most of the players. I didn't even know who he was. He had on like sweatpants, no shirt, and was just celebrating and having a good old time.
So
And
so
showed,
you so you mean to tell me if you okay, let's just say like you on a practice squad. So you mean you can't celebrate with the team?
You could. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying who was this? Like nobody knew who he was.
Mm-hmm.
He played, like I said, he played one game for the Eagles, and he was out there celebrating like he was a difference maker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool with him being on a bus with a whole bunch of other people that we don't know, but walking around high fiving the crowd, that's like should be like, the recognized faces.
Right. Did you see how Saquon picked the ball boy up?
Yeah, that was cool.
Why is the ball boy not with them anyway? To me, you were part of the team. You were part of the organization. Why are you not with the guys on the bus?
That's only because he was recognizable, but because sometimes the ball boys are like maybe somebody of a higher up kid or nephew or something, because you probably got to be connected to get that job.
Right.
But if he wasn't recognizable, he'd be in the crowd like anybody else. It'd be like if you worked the game and you always give Saquon a high five at the game, he saw you and he said, "Come on, man, I know you because you always speak to him, be the same shit." Even if you a fucking, I don't know, an usher or something that just worked the game, he'd have pulled you over. Once the star pull you over, ain't nobody gonna fuck with you because you in now.
Mm-hmm. All right, Philly, that was a good season. On to the next. All right, then. Well, you can reach the Judgementals on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and subscribe to our YouTube at pnljudgementals, Instagram at _judgementals, or you can email us at pnljudgementals@gmail.com. All right, then.
All right, y'all. Stop.